Hello YouTube, this is Necrostevo and you're watching one of my narrated Wi-Fi battles. I hope you all are enjoying the quality. I made a few changes, so hopefully it looks a little bit better. If it looks any worse, please let me know. But it's going to look at least this good for a little while. Also, I have about 30 battle videos backed up that are in my lower quality. I'd be interested to hear if you guys still want to see those at all. If not, that's fine. I'll keep it, to the higher quality. But they're all really good matches, so if you guys want to see those, let me know and I'll see what I can do about those as well, even if it's just in lower quality. But anyways though, today's match is against RandomMan784. He's whom the quality test match was against, and this was actually a really good match that we had. Of course, if you haven't noticed, that's my low punny on the other side of the field, so of course, I'm on the other side. I couldn't save two battles at a time, so I had to get him to give me the number for the battle. But he started off by going for some toxic spikes, or actually spikes, I believe, and I just magic coded those back, and then knowing that he would expect another magic code in case he tried it again, I switcherooed him the flame orb. So he gets burned, I get a layer of spikes up on his side of the field. I went for magic code again in case he tried it again, but he's just going to stay in here and just use sludge bomb a few times. And not wanting Jade to go down quite that easily, I'm going to switch out to Triffidia. And it looks like he just went for a different move expecting a switch, but the sludge bomb actually would have done a little bit more damage right there, as that would have been neutral. Now with Triffidia in here, I know he might be able to put me to sleep, but I'm not that worried about it. So if he does try to switch out, which is what I was expecting, I believe, I'm just going to double switch out into something that I don't mind going to sleep, and something that can threaten out his Roserade. Now I go out into Liebe. This of course is a UU match, but you know me, I bring random things to matches all the time. And I needed to see if he was choice scarfed, and I needed to see what kind of set he had, and I didn't really have anything that I wanted to take. Two outrages or even one really. I know that Triffidia, being physically defensive, can take one outrage and put him to sleep. So it is unfortunate that I had to sacrifice my Dragonair, but with Dragonair's sacrifice I'm able to come in, take an outrage, and then paralyze him so that I can still put something to sleep after he switches out, hopefully. He does switch out, which is great. He goes into Big Kitty, which I was thinking that was probably his Raikou, and that actually is his Raikou. And since he's switching it in, I believe here I actually get to switch out again because I just wanted to get my Regenerator boost. I could have gone for another Stun Spore or a Spore, but I didn't want to risk him staying in and hitting me again. Now, interestingly, he goes for the Calm Mind. As you guys know from the previous battle, if you guys watched the quality test, he's a Life Orb Calm Mind set. And I just hit him with a Choice Specs Bug Buzz, which I get a critical hit and I knock him out. The only difference that would have made in this battle is if he went for an attack there, and then he probably would have had some good damage on my Galvantula. But of course, Choice Specs kind of negates the Calm Mind, so it's kind of like I hit him with the normal powered stab Bug Buzz. He brings in Hitmontop. I'm expecting the Rapid Spin. No big deal. If he's forced to Rapid Spin, of course, that means I can bring something in basically for free. So I just bring in Triffidia again to kind of wall him, because I don't think he can do much to me. And if he has the Ice Punch, it won't do much damage. And then that'll allow me to put him to sleep, or paralyze him if I feel like it. And so his stats fall. I just put him to sleep like I said. And now I have the momentum back on my side of the field because he has to sleep for one turn as he was faster than me. So this is going to give me an opportunity to switch out. And I was thinking actually about just going for the Giga Drain with his lower defenses. Because of course I wouldn't want to go for Clear Smog because that would put his defenses back at normal. And I decided to go back out into Choice Spec Galvantula so that I can just Volt Switch. Thinking that that might force him to switch out because the Thunder is going to wreck him from -1 special defense. But he actually stays in, which that will come back to haunt me later. Me not just going for the Thunder. And so he stays in and he goes for Toxic. Now I don't know if he was expecting me to go out into Quagsire, or if he just really wanted to put a Toxic on my Galvantula, because if I had gone for another move and ended up staying in there, Toxic doesn't matter much on Galvantula because it's switching out a lot of the time. Toxic on my Quagsire, Derpseas, on the other hand, is kind of crippling because he only gets Recover to recover his HP. And I go for Scald hoping to burn something on the switch, but I don't know what it's been with me and Scald and I lately. I don't get that burn often at all anymore, and I don't know what's going on with that. I've been playing through White 2, and I get burned a lot. But fortunately, it doesn't matter here because he's holding the Flame Orb. Of course, I guess that would have been one more turn of burn damage. I don't know that that really mattered. I'm expecting him to set up a layer of spikes. I just want to get Low Punny in here to stop him from setting up and to at least force him to attack me so that he doesn't get up any more layers of spikes, making him think that I'm just going to Magic Coat. But I just go for a return to put some more damage on him. So that's going to be easy to revenge kill him. And of course, with the low amount of HP I had, he's not going to get back much from Giga Drain as well. So with how little HP he has, I can just go into Live Wire here. Just go for the Volt Switch, really, and finish him off. I actually go for Bug Buzz because I figured if you wanted to switch in Hitmontop, I could probably 2-hit KO it from the level of HP it was at. So that's what my thinking was there. He ends up going into Flygon, which it is paralyzed now, but I don't think I'm going to be able to knock it out with Bug Buzz. And so he goes for Fire Punch knowing that it hits, I think, 3 of the things I have remaining super effective. But you see how little that does to my Trifidea, and that was a critical hit, so it would have done even less than that. But knowing that he's locked into Fire Punch means that I can switch out, get my Regenerator boost, and then go into Quagsire, whom is poison, but I have recovery. I resist the Fire Punch. We're looking good here. And he no longer has Roserade to kind of threaten my Quagsire as well. So, you know, for him getting a crit on Trifidea, it really didn't matter at all. Excuse me. So he's going to switch out his Flygon, of course, as it is locked on that move. He switches out into his Empoleon, and I went for Scald knowing that he was going to do that, and really hoping for the burn. I really wanted to burn that Empoleon because I couldn't Toxic it, of course. And unfortunately, I don't burn it because I could have gone for Earthquake that turn, but I wanted to burn it so I could get some residual damage because I figured Earthquake wouldn't do that much. Now, I'm proven wrong on this next turn as I think he just sets up his Stealth Rocks, which are really late game Stealth Rocks, or maybe mid game. I say late game. But Earthquake, actually, I think it would have 2-hit KO'd, just because I have a minus speed nature on Quagsire rather than a minus attack or minus special attack nature. Because I'm using Scald and Earthquake, of course, and wouldn't make sense to use those natures. So, after Leftovers, that's really close. That may have 2-hit KO'd him. So I don't know. Or if I had burned him, of course, that definitely would have 2-hit KO'd. So I was very annoyed at that right there because, you know, that was kind of a clutch point in the match. I figure this is a good point in time, though, to go out into my Amoonguss again to try to get some HP back with some Giga Drains, but he actually goes for a Roar that turn, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought he was actually just going to go for Scald or Ice Beam, maybe. But he roars, and that sucks because he's really cutting down on the longevity of my Quagsire. And right now, Quagsire is really the only answer that I have for his Cufagrigus. So I'm kind of forced to go for the recover here, assuming I live the Scald. And unfortunately, I don't live the Scald, and that's because of the Stealth and Spikes damage and the Toxic damage that I got dealt coming back in there. So if I had just Earthquaked in the first place, Empoleon would likely be dead. Unfortunately, that's not the situation, and so I'm going to go out into my late game sweeper here. Buttercup, thinking that, okay, if he has the Scald, I have special moves and physical moves. They'll both get a boost from the workup. And he actually shows me Ice Beam. So this Empoleon has an interesting set. I haven't seen Ice Beam being run on a more defensive set before. But I was really hoping that I could get enough HP back with Giga Drain by Giga Draining some of his other Pokemon to kind of offset that Ice Beam damage. Close Combat's going to very cleanly take him out. It would have been awesome to have him at a lower HP level where I could have Giga Drained to take him out, then not had lower defenses, because obviously now he's going to go out into Hitmontop and try to throw some priority at me. Now I know he doesn't have Fake Out. Oh, he sends out Flygon, and I believe I just close combated in the face. I think he just wanted my defenses lowered. And I couldn't really risk going for Giga Drain there, hoping for the paralysis, because this is basically my last sweeper. But anyways, though, Flygon goes down. He's going to go into his Hitmontop now to try to use priority. And I predicted correctly on this first one. He's going to get the Intimidate, which means it cuts my attack, and he goes for Sucker Punch. I'm just going to work up again, expecting that, so I don't lose any HP, and I get my attack level back up to 1, and now my special attack is +2. So I was thinking that a +2 Giga Drain would kill him, and he wouldn't try to go for Sucker Punch, because I could just keep using workup. But he actually goes for Sucker Punch that turn, And maybe I should have just kept on using workup, but eventually he would have switched to close combat. So that was really a 50-50 toss-up that I lost right there. But good on him for just continuing to go for the sucker punch, because it worked out. But anyways, though, him getting up his stealth rocks really sucks, because now I take all that damage from the stealth rocks and the spikes coming in. Whereas if I had just killed off the Empoleon, he might not have gotten that off. Uh, he is able to bring in Red Eyes here, and he's going to take a Choice Specs Thunder much more well than I thought he was going to. That's really only 2/3 of his health there. And I'm not going to live a stab Shadow Ball, even if he has no special attack investment. Galvantula is very frail, and that's probably why it's in RU. The Stealth Rocket weakness being frail. Really not quite as fast as it needs to be based 108 speed, but fast enough to do what it needs to do. But anyways, though, I thought I had a chance of winning this until he shows me that he has rest. And then I was like, well, let me see how much a Giga Drain does, because if I'm constantly healing with Giga Drain and Black Sludge and forcing him to go for a rest, maybe I can win, because he's down to his Kofagrigus and I'm down to my Amoonguss. And I was thinking, okay, that's a that's an okay chunk. Maybe okay, he has to sleep for another turn. Maybe he'll get overzealous and attack me, and then I'll get a crit in there somewhere, and then I can still pull this out somehow. But that time I do get a crit, which it didn't matter right there because he had already been asleep for the next turn, so he can literally just wake up on the next turn and go for rest. I needed a crit on, I needed basically 2 crits in a row to win this, which would equal 4 Giga Drains in a row. Unfortunately, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. I don't ever get that. But you guys know me, I don't like stall wars, especially when it's pretty obvious that I'm not going to win. As you can see right there is what I showed you, that the getting the critical hit didn't help, because now you can just wake up and go for rest. Um, but anyways, though, all that being said, I'm going to end up running from this match, just because he was obviously prepared to sit there and stall, and he also could have burned me, he told me, which means overall I'd be losing more health than I'm restoring from Black Sludge and Giga Drain most likely. So eventually I probably would have fallen just to burn and Shadow Ball and all that wonderful stuff just because he's faster. But I really did enjoy that match. I made a couple of misplays, I'd say, but it was a good match overall, especially for me bringing low tier stuff like Dragonair, Amoonguss, Quagsire, Galvantula, and Lopunny to a UU match. I really enjoyed it. So if you all enjoyed that match, be sure to let me know. Hopefully we'll get to see Dragonair be a little bit more effective next time. But I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you enjoyed the match. Alright, bye-bye.